Today for me was actually a really important milestone. So I've just made my first interview, which is really not an interview, but I'll talk about it later. So for the day, I woke up early this time. I biked for a little bit and then I went straight to school. Some pressure was there to put my mom to bring me, but it was mostly fine. I came to school early and the friend group wasn't there yet. So I decided to hang out with the friend group near the door. I was freezing since there was only like one girl nearby and the conversation went mostly fine. But as time passed, I began to realize that as more people began to join us, friend groups naturally began to fragment as a result as more and more people joined. But the earlier I came, the less social cost I get because there's less people. And you also get early bird gets the worm, so you get the first dibs. And I'm tempted to initiate a full conversation, though I was not able to per se. People came in and out, so that kind of disrupted like my way of conversation. So I don't prefer this group style per se in the way we think it would be, but I think I could handle it, though I will have further questions. It felt a little warmer in tone because well, I did come earlier and it is much lower for social barriers. But other than that, big credit to Mia and a few other girls and boys. Of course, I can't forget the zesty one at that point. So not the first period. Not much happened here. I did complete a few Spanish assignments to end it for the week since there was a substitute today. I do not want to make this boring, so here's an excerpt from the assignment that I went to make extra, even though it was just asking for like basic sentences. Sí, tengo un secreto para él no es amigo. El secreto es que a mi maestro no le gusta cuando sus estudiantes le dicen a él no sapo. Pero no sé. Yo me reí mucho el viernes pasado cuando el maestro estuvo enojado. Si un hispano hablante escucha eso, él se ríe. Second period, I attended PE, though the teachers had us sit down for the rest of the period because of the conflicting schedules. I tried to take a rest, though I was not able to because there's too much social noise. For third period, during this class, I spent most of the time chill. I already finished up the assignment, so the teacher didn't play the video as he said in his schedule, so most people were working on their prep assignments. I just spent the time to kind of search up random things. Fourth period, I did a test about totalitarian leaders, and it went mostly fine. I spent most of the time chilling after. I was also scared because of the anticipation for the link crew interview that was going to happen later in the day. Lunch period, it went fine. I decided to go to Jesus Club, but they were closed since there was a banquet going on later for some sort of event, and it was canceled. I visited my teacher's classroom, who was the head of the club, and they said that they're not hosting anything because of what's going on today. So, anyways, I had a funny conversation later on with one of my friends during the class that apparently we will get boba when they get money, but I said we know that's never. And it was funny. They laughed too, but mostly chill though. Big credits if both of you guys are watching this right now, though we did both have really terrible headaches. Fifth period, I silently bet a few coins since the teacher was talking, and I am unsure if there are any late students. There was a counselor explaining what we're going to do for our next classes next year and how to handle all the logistical stuff for it. It went mostly fine. Some boys were laughing, and the teacher literally put a fist bump across the room if the kid kept laughing. It's like a sassy threat, think of it like that. As the boys messed around, I laughed silently, but I felt like my teacher was acting more like a mom during this time toward the boys. Like, no wonder yesterday she said to them that they cannot handle AP English. But I knew what to do there, so eventually I did the instructions about what the counselor said about 4 classes, so that's all done. We continued on parabolas for sixth period and learning how to find their equations just from looking at a graph. The teacher taught us how to use square root answers instead of decimal answers like last time. We changed seats, so it was surprising. I sit much closer, but I think the teacher considered that I didn't really see well afar anyway. But the biggest problem that I did have when it comes to parabolas, talking about it on a graph, I did struggle a lot with seeing if it was a decimal point. If it was a decimal point and not something that's fixed on the graph, it would be kind of difficult, so I took a little more. Now, down to dismissal time. I'm going to call this seventh period. So, during seventh period, I attended the first Link applicant crew interview. I realized I forgot my name tag, but they gave one to us later on. I wonder why they put it on my back since there was this one teacher who also made us do a playstyle interview instead of like simple sit down and ask questions. So, we did basically like 6 to 7 activities, I think. I am not sure. I had to fear again, but the thing is, before it, I approached 2 girls. I had a quick talk with them. Credits if you guys are watching this right now, welcome. Although I felt that you guys felt a little hesitant, to be honest. Like, I could feel something, but I really couldn't. So I'm just leaving that like a little note. So during the actual interview, it was more of a play interview. The first one was an introduction. The teacher told us to go 10 feet away and meet someone new, and we did a few other mini activities with those. The first thing we did was a quick introduction. 3 things that we share that are interesting about ourselves, and one thing that we find odd to also share too. When we were done, we did custom handshakes with each other, and we had to come up with it on the spot. The teacher gave us 90 seconds, and we made a custom one. There was this one girl that I was a partner with, because if you're watching, and we practiced it. I actually still get it right now. So after that, they made us group together and hold arms as a metaphor to the name Link Leader, which is very much like that. Then I got really confused. He told us to do some tapping on our legs as if we are going to link with another group, but I realized it was too late. So basically, once we were already with partners and we're already with another group, we're supposed to tap with another group one. So we go, our group goes to group one, we tap one. Another group, we go for group two. And then so on until we reach the number five. Once we tap our legs to number five to with the other group, then we link with that group. So you switch, you switch, you switch, then you link. Everybody locks in like a little bit of the trains. Now, onwards from that group, we introduce ourselves to each other in third person group. Though we did realize that stepping into a large group later on, which we did link later on from 2 people to 4 to 8 people, which I realized it worked that way too late. It's like mini tap dancing, but you're just stepping on each other's shoes as a result. And I said during that third person introduction to the girl that was my partner, yeah, she's a YouTuber and she edits videos. Well, even though that's a reflection of me not bragging there, by the way. And I told her to play along with it. It was funny because I couldn't come up with something that she actually knew. It just came out of my brain immediately. So credit to you for the third time. Your name started something with scenery. It was something very similar to that word. Please excuse me, but I don't remember. The next activity that we did was popcorn reading, where we jumped from person to person doing introductions, and it went mostly fine because we're already a group of 8. We're going to be sharing. I tried to crack a joke, but it was very inappropriate because I did not even say it at all. And the teacher called us for the next activity before I could say it, which I'm very thankful for doing so. The next and final thing is that the teacher made us do an entire drawing of a city using just paper. I thought we were going to draw it with pencils individually, but no, we're going to use scraps of paper to try to recreate the city drawing. Although big credit to one other group that actually used the 3D and they actually like made buildings out of the paper, like stacking things up. We were actually just putting things on the floor, so it just looked like a little mess. I then realized is that no wonder we got name tags on our back since I got kind of distracted. Those same people that are walking around with the clipboard writing about what we're doing, they're rating and reviewing us about how we're doing. And I realized maybe it's not a good idea to crack that joke anyway. And then the teacher did take 7 minutes for us to draw it from paper scraps. He gave us those 7 minutes and then he put times up. But I realized, oh, no wonder the name tag is on my back. They're actually reviewing us, see if maybe we're a good fit. But it's like general, it's not like an actual indicator though. And obviously, it's not gonna be perfect. But the teacher, I was expecting us to do effort, but I'll be honest, I wasn't paying enough attention to the city drawing and I got distracted because of so many voices. At the end, the teacher said the interview experiment time is over after this little drawing. Basically, we're just all sitting down. During the popcorn reading, I do have to clarify, everybody was sitting down in like a little circle. Now back to here. After the drawing, the teacher said the experiment time is over. He then debriefed us on how not everyone's going to be accepted since there's only 120 seats out of 384 applicants, which I see. I only have a 31.25% act chance in raw probability, excluding all the personal stuff. It's pretty low, to be honest. And, I've already accepted this risk intrinsically before. Of course, I may not be accepted, just as in the future I may not be accepted for a job application. It's how life occurs. But in return, what I do is I'll obviously continue doing the videos. But after that, I then got the Instagrams of other people, and I also realized someone during the event itself dressed so properly that I thought they were one of the coordinators, but they're in fact one of the students. So big credit to that one boy if you're watching this in like 10 years from now, or maybe right now. Now, this time where I do attribute credit to the one girl that was my introduction partner, and credit to the 2 other girls that I talked to, and credit to that one boy who dressed very vestier Seth way, and credit to the other people that were also participating, especially to that one person that was kind of a leader of the group. We were doing that when reading to about each other. And that is it, boys and girls. And as to the new people, welcome to the digital outpost of me. Do this anytime. And this is the end of this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.